everyone. Welcome to Mission to Inspire. My name is Shola, as you know, and I'm joined today by a wonderful guest. His name is Matt O'Neill. Hi, Matt. How are you?
Shola, we did it.
We
We
did
get to
it.
do this podcast together. I'm so excited.
Oh my God, I'm so happy to see you on here. How are you?
I am feeling amazing. And today we're going to talk about how to be happy, which is perfect because you and I get to be happy. And we
We
had
got to
so many
be
technical
happy.
difficulties.
Of course, before we could get here today, it's taken us how many how
This,
many tries?
but this is the point. Is we've been working on technical difficulties for 45 minutes
Wow.
and
Wow.
we are still happy
And we're so happy. And we're
because
so
because happiness is a choice.
It is. It is. Thank you so much for joining us today. Oh my God, we're so grateful that you're on our show today. Oh, Matt is actually is a happiness expert. He's the author of Good Mood Revolution and the host of Good Mood Revolution podcast. Well, that's all I'm going to say about you, Matt, and I'll leave the floor to you to introduce yourself so we can know
Well,
you
yeah, I
better.
have four young children from ages 11 to 3, and my wife is the love of my life. We own a couple of companies, and I teach people how to be happier. And it's easy to do when you recognize that life is short. One of our dear friends, she has young children, and she's battling for her life right now. And every day we get an update, and we're so sad. And then we
Oh,
look at each other and we say, we're grateful that we're alive.
yes. Mm,
I
mm,
just saw I just saw this beautiful movie with Florence Pugh called We Live in Time. And it
right.
was a movie about a relationship
Mhm,
between two people who love each other very much, and one
right.
of them is battling cancer.
Oh
And they
my
have a
God.
little girl. And
Mhm.
and it's alive if we're above ground, if we have people that we love that love us. Today's a happy day.
Yeah, that's true. That is so true. If we have people that love us, then the days are happy die. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry to hear. Oh my God. Well, we're just gonna start properly now, Matt. And I'm gonna ask you one question, to be honest. When you were introducing yourself, you said you own few businesses, successful businesses, and you manage a household of four young children with your wife as well.
Yes,
How did you maintain happiness amidst the chaos of life
with a lot of work.
with a lot of work? Okay. Yes.
I work harder on my happiness than I do on anything else. And
Right.
there's a very good reason that everyone should
Mm.
and can. So no one can tell me that they're busier than me and they don't have time to be happy because you're not. I don't know you, but the amount of things that I juggle at the same time, I'm one of the busiest people I know and one of the happiest people I know. And it's because happiness is a skill. And it's a skill that the more that we practice it, the better. So today, I thought someone was being rude to me, someone who I
Really?
care about.
Oh my God.
And she was. I got on the phone with her and she said something rude. She said something offensive. And I got off the phone and I was talking with my wife and I said, she just said this
Yeah.
thing. And Katie said that was rude.
Hmm.
And I said it was. So what's going on here? And I realized I in my mind was not happy with her.
Right.
So
Okay.
my energy towards her was one of frustration or annoyance. And she picked up on my energy and then she threw back my energy to me with
Oh,
some nasty comments. And so
right.
I said to Katie, I said, even though I didn't say anything rude to her,
Hmm.
I feel like I should probably apologize because I wasn't thinking of her in the nicest tone. I wasn't thinking of her in the nicest tone.
Hmm.
And so I sent her a text message and I said, hey, I'm sorry. I want to be on the same page as you. Do you have time that we could talk and I could give you an apology? And she texted me back and she said, no need to apologize. But I called her anyway. And I said, I'm so sorry. Obviously, some of the things I said may have offended you. It wasn't my intention. You've got a big heart. You're out here in the world doing things that to make the world a better place. I just want you to know I appreciate you. I see you. And if I offended you, I'm sorry. This is happiness work. It would have been so easy for me to say, hey, she was rude. She's out of line. It's her fault, and judged her and blamed her. Would have been easy.
Yeah,
And I had all the evidence to say that she was in the wrong and I was in the right. But you can either be right or you can be happy,
that's
but you
true.
you can't be both. So I had to let go of being right and choose to be happy. And that was this morning.
Are you sure about that though? That you cannot be right and be right at the same time. I mean, you cannot be right and happy at the same time. You can be right and happy at the same time, I think.
Only if being right is that person's beautiful and they're so kind. We can't be right about somebody being unkind and be
That's,
happy at the same time.
that's very
That doesn't work. We can't have a judgment or a criticism of someone and be right about our judgment or criticism and happy at the same time. The two things don't coincide. We only are happy when we drop our judgments and our criticisms and we see that every person is lovely and beautiful.
that's very true. That's very true. And when I was going through your book, these are some of the things that you picked on in the book anyway. And we're gonna just talk about that now. So in your book, Good Mood Revolution, you emphasized happiness is a choice. And that's exactly what you've illustrated now through what happened just this morning. So how can you share practical steps that we can take to consciously choose happiness every day?
So we all have a story of when life was hard.
Right.
And there are things that have been very hard to go through for us.
Uh-huh.
For me, my wife and I had one of those a few years ago. We wanted to have our fourth child and we were trying, and then she got a positive pregnancy test. And we were so happy. We were so excited because we wanted this fourth child to come into our life. And so we told our other three kids, we said, you're going to have a sibling. And they all were excited and they cheered with us. And then we went to the doctor to get the ultrasound and we found that she lost the baby. And we were sad. And sometime later, we decided we would try again. And we tried again. And again, we got a positive pregnancy test. And we were so excited. And we said, hey, kids, you're going to have a little sibling.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
we went to the hospital and had the ultrasound, and we had lost that baby.
Oh no.
And it took a long time, but we decided we would try one more time.
Okay. Yep.
And we got the positive test, but we didn't tell the kids. We're not, look, we don't want to disappoint them if we get disappointed. But we didn't tell them. And we went to the hospital and there was a heartbeat. And we had a little heartbeat and we were so excited. And then the doctor said, when you have a heartbeat at the 8-week ultrasound, there's a 98% chance you're going to have a baby. And so we went home and we told the kids, we said, you're going to have a little sibling. And my daughter looked at me and she said, Daddy, I think the reason God didn't have those other two babies come is because he was waiting for this one. And I
Oh,
said, I think you're so right, little girl.
that is so powerful. Oh my God.
And when we went to the hospital for the 12-week ultrasound,
Mhm.
the doctor looked at us with tears in her eyes and told us we'd lost another one.
Oh my God. Right.
So these hard things that happen, they, we lose people. We go through things that we don't want to go through.
Yeah. Yeah.
But God doesn't waste any of these experiences.
Mm-mm.
You know, every time we lost a baby, do you know what I did?
Mm-mm.
I looked at the three children we had and I hugged them tighter. I recognized the gifts that were already there, that were already in my life. You're asking for a easy strategy on how to be happy. It's
Mm-hmm.
to be grateful for what we have.
That's true. Be grateful for what we have.
So how do you be grateful for what you have? You recognize that it could be taken from you at any moment.
To,
Every single day could be our last.
wow.
Every day with someone we love could be their last.
Mm.
As we contemplate that reality, and this is a reality, we feel so entitled. We'll just live until we're 80 years old. We feel entitled that our children will outlive us. We feel entitled that the person we love will be here with us and grow old with us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
None of that's guaranteed, and we're not in control of it. You could eat all the right vegetables and do the right exercise program and not smoke and not drink. You could do everything right and you could still lose your life. So every day I pray. I wake up, I say thank you God. I put my hand on my heart. I feel my heartbeat and I say, thank you, God, for this beating heart today. I don't have to have it. I recognize I don't have to have a beating heart today, but I thank you for it. And then
Wow.
I think of each child's face and I
Mm.
say, thank you for their life today. And I think of my wife and I say, thank you for her. And I just think about any of us could not be here tomorrow. So today I'm going to be grateful that we are. And that starting with gratitude, all the other things that, our friend that's going through cancer right now and she may not make it. She may not make it this week. She has two young kids.
Oh my God.
Nothing matters to her other than trying to hug her kids. Nothing matters. So 45 minutes of a technical delay on Zoom, you and me, to be frustrated about such a small thing,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter. And this is my easiest path to good moods is recognize that you're entitled to nothing.
Yeah.
And that every single day with someone you love is a gift.
Wow. Every day with somebody that you loved is a gift. You know, when you said every day when we wake up and we're alive, is, we just need to be grateful because, to be honest, like you said, uh, some people just pass on, and it's not as if we're entitled. It's just that we were given the privilege and we're here today. So that is very true, and we need to be grateful. We need to be grateful every day, and to pray every day, just like you said.
Pray.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. What are we grateful to? And I didn't always believe in God.
you
And
didn't.
when I didn't, I was very unhappy. And
Wow.
I used to say, you know, people who have a strong faith, I think they're happier than me. I would say that. I mean, like, because they just know someone's got their back, right? And I can tell you, discovering my faith, and it doesn't matter what faith anyone practices, it really doesn't. All of that dogma and religious, my way's the right way and your way's the wrong way, that none of that's true. God is, we were created, we all were created by the same creator.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter which religion you want to pray to, something created all of us. And it wasn't this God created these people and this God created these people. One God created all of us. And so when we're praying, we're all praying to the same God.
God, yes, yes,
And
yes.
it is that's who we're grateful to. And
Mm.
it's hard to understand sometimes when things are hard. For our friend, it's hard to understand why her daughters are going to be raised without a mom. We don't know why that's their story, but it, in this is what I said to my wife, when we know that eternity is real
Mm.
and that we are these eternal souls
Yeah.
and that each lifetime is just a short little blip on the life, our eternal lifeline.
Mm-hmm.
I said our friend is going to be just fine. Her daughters are going to be just fine.
That's
we're all going to be just fine. As soon as she is held in the embrace of God again, she's going to be happy. And while we know that, it's still hard to go through.
that's very true. Very, very true. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So, wow, how do you recommend people, I mean, overcome negative thought patterns then? Because I think that is one of the things that make them unhappy. Well, makes us unhappy.
Me too. I get unhappy. So I've got a very simple thing I do every day. I
Mm,
do this. I did it this morning.
okay.
The very first thing I do with my cup of coffee, I get a cup of coffee because I love coffee, and I sit down with a piece of paper and a pen, and I write negative thought, question mark,
Hmm.
and I wait until I find at least one negative thought.
Okay.
Every day today I found five. I
Right.
said I found five things negative in my mind after I had prayed, after I had said thank you. Five different negative things in my mind were showing up.
Five.
Yeah, every day I find them. So if we really want to get rid of negative thoughts,
Yeah.
ask yourself, what negative thoughts do I have today? And so I wrote them down,
Hmm.
and and then and then with each one I put a number next to it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
And then I said, reframe number one. So I wrote number one, I wrote reframe. And
Hmm.
so I don't remember what the negative thoughts were at this moment, but let's say that one of my negative thoughts was I'm feeling tired. That's a negative thought. I'm tired today. I didn't sleep well. That's a negative thought. I
Mm.
would just reframe it and I would say, I have all the energy I need to succeed today.
Ah.
So the negative thought, I'm tired and didn't sleep well, is there. But then I get to say, I have all the energy I need to be successful today. And so I'm countering the negativity with a positive statement. Then I'd go to number two, and number two might say, um, I I feel like I haven't been showing up for my daughter. That could be a negative thought. I haven't been showing up for my daughter. I would reframe it and I would say, um, today I'm going to do something to make her feel special. And I would write that thought. And now I've got the negative thought, I don't think I've been showing up. And then the positive thought, I'm going to do something about it. And then if when I follow through and do something about it, I'm going to help her with her homework tonight. That that is countering the negativity. But there will never be a day, Shola, where we don't have a negative thought.
Exactly. Yeah, that's very true. We
It's
always have.
just, yeah, it's just how hard do we want to turn them around?
Mm,
That also is a key to happiness, is to recognize negative thoughts will never go away, but I can counter them with positive reframes every moment if I choose to. And it's very important because if those negative thoughts don't get countered, I get into a negative mind frame and then I have negative emotions and then I snap at somebody and then I say something rude and then they say something rude back. And then before you know it, I've crashed my car and then I have all these problems. It's just the way it goes. But if I turn the negative thought around, then I'm smiling at somebody, I'm holding the door, I'm giving compassion and grace when 45 minutes of technical delays happen. We have a beautiful conversation. We laugh and smile. You make me feel good. I make you feel good. And then we go home and make other people feel good.
that's very true. Oh my God. Oh my God. Awesome. Awesome. What a positive energy you've got.
Oh,
Wow.
thank you. You too. You too. All you do is smile and I love it. And you're so happy. It's very fun to be around you.
Thank you. Thank you. Balancing your work. Well, you said you're a very busy person and your personal life. How because I just feel for me, sometimes it can be very overwhelming.
Mhm. Yeah, it can, right? Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overwhelm is one of the eight bad moods. In my book, Good Mood Revolution, I talk about how there's only eight bad moods.
Yeah.
Overwhelm is one of them.
Right. Right.
So when we feel overwhelmed,
Mm.
that's a negative thought. I'm overwhelmed. It's not even true. It's not even true.
Isn't it? When you're overwhelmed, when you're just when everything is too much, you're just in the midst of everything, all the chaos and all of that.
It's never true. It's
Yeah.
not too much. We
Okay.
don't have too much. All we can do is what I can do in this moment.
Right.
So this idea that I have too much to do is a false idea. I
Wow.
can't do all those things this moment. I can do one thing this moment.
You can do one thing this moment.
So when I feel overwhelmed, I recognize I'm just in one of the 8 negative moods. I'll sit down, I'll take some deep breaths. I'll get back into this moment. I'll say, okay, I'll get present and maybe I'll pray and I'll say, hey, God, guide me. In this moment, what's the one thing you would have me do?
Right.
And
So,
then I'll do that one thing. And as
right.
I do one thing that's positive, I feel good. And then the next moment, I'll say, okay, now that I've done that one thing, if
Yeah.
I were to do one thing this moment, what would be the one thing that would help me the most? Help me in the world, help me in my work, help me in my family. If I could do one thing this moment, what would I do? And then we do that.
Mm.
And then eventually we start to stack so many wins. I've done this well, I've done this well, I've done this well that we no longer feel overwhelmed.
Wow. Awesome. Just like you said in the beginning, we just need to pray, isn't it? And it's not
Yeah.
difficult to pray.
No, it's not. It's not. It's just taking a moment and recognizing that there's a force that's bigger than me that can help and always wants to help and will help. We just have to ask.
Hmm.
God's not too busy for us.
That's true. It's
God
not true.
just gives us free will. He just lets us be on our own until we invite him in. And so I
Mm.
just want to invite him all the time. Like, hey,
Yeah.
I actually pictured him holding his arms around you as we were talking.
Oh,
I was picturing you being surrounded by God's love.
wow.
And
Wow.
if that's another really fun strategy to feel happy, is
Mm,
everyone you meet, picture God giving them a big hug. For me, that's an image of Jesus, Jesus coming and giving someone a hug.
mm,
And as I'm like picturing this person fully loved, I would never say something rude to that person.
mm. That's very true.
And then
Wow.
if they're upset about something or if they're upset with me, it's totally different. I would just be very defenseless. I would say, I'm so sorry you feel that way from a sincere place. I would say I never would want you to feel anything other than happy. So how can I help right now? What can I do?
Mm,
And
wow.
then, you know what? Then they're not upset. And they recognize I want what's good for them and they're happy and then they want to support me too and say, "Well, how can I support you? You've been so supportive of me."
Mm,
And life gets so much easier
that's
when
true.
we just love everybody in our presence.
That's true.
Like it's like all the traffic lights turn green. Everything is happening for us. All these people are conspiring to help make our life easier and better. It's like when I say that being happy is the most important thing we can do each day, everything else falls in place when we choose to be happy.
When we choose to be happy. That's true. Everything falls in place when we choose to be happy. And it's not difficult for us to just choose to be happy. Thank you so much. You talked about the 8 strategies that you shared in your book. Can you name them
Yeah.
apart from the overwhelming?
Yes, I definitely can. So, the most destructive bad mood is a feeling of shame that there's something wrong with us.
Mm,
Not true. It's not true. Again, I'm very spiritual, but God doesn't make junk. God designed us how we are perfectly. So anything we think inside of us that's not perfect, that's an untrue statement. We were designed exactly the way God wanted to design us as his perfect creation, to learn what we're supposed to learn being the way we are.
mm,
That's the most destructive thought. There's something wrong with me. The second most destructive thought is I deserve to be punished because I do bad things. This idea of guilt.
Guilt.
Guilt is very destructive. Um, so instead of thinking that we deserve to be punished, because when we think we deserve to be punished, guess what we have to do? Figure out how to be mean to people so they punish us.
Mm,
Whatever we believe we deserve, we manifest. So if we have this idea that we deserve to be punished because we do bad things, we'll go do more bad things so people are mean to us, so that
mm,
we fulfill our destiny, that we deserve punishment.
right.
So we have to find those areas where we feel guilty and think we deserve to be punished and turn them around and say, no, I actually deserve to be loved and cared for.
Deserve to be loved.
Then I'll treat people in a way like I was talking, like picturing you being hugged by Jesus, where you then feel loved and cared for. And then what will you do back to me? You'll give me love and care. You'll reciprocate.
It's true.
So those are the first two. The next one is that overwhelm or hopelessness which we've talked about.
It's about.
After that, we move into another emotion I've been talking about, which is grief or sadness, feeling very sad for things. It's kind of beautiful when we get sad because we recognize I really love living. So I'm sad because I love to live so much. And
Yeah,
that can bring us into gratitude, which can be really nice.
that's true.
Um, then there's fear. Then there's lust, being
Mm,
caught in this desire for more and more and more and more and more. It's insatiable. And then there's anger, which we're very familiar with. And then pride, this idea that I'm better than other people. Those are the 8 negative moods. Anytime we're caught in one of those stories, we're going to be unhappy.
mm.
And anytime we get out of one of those stories, we can get back into happiness.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. And it's so true. It's so true. Oh my goodness. For someone who is starting their own journey towards happiness today, as we speak, what will be the most important first step that they should take?
The first step,
Mm.
keep listening to Mission to Inspire with Shola. Your podcast is one of the top 10% in the world.
Yay! Thank you.
And then if they're looking to add a second podcast, every week on the Good Mood Revolution podcast, I talk about how to be happy. So a good first step is listening to you and adding another podcast into their listening and fill your head with these words. That's how I learned. I learned by listening to things and reading things from other people that were teaching me how to be happy. That's the best thing to do is keep learning.
Yes. Thank you so much for being on our show today and inspiring us on how to be happy. Honestly, your 8 strategies, I'm going to have to read that, especially those 8 and jot them down. I'm going to have to write them on my board, my vision board. So I know that anytime I feel those moods, I have to reverse them and look for
Yeah.
a positive.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
It sounds simple and we want it to, and the answer is simple. It just takes a lot of work.
Yes, it
Just
takes,
like anything worthwhile.
it
It
does.
takes it ta it takes no work to be unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
No work.
No work.
Yeah. If we want to be unhappy, all we have to do is just let our thoughts go wild and that they'll just do it. They'll make us unhappy. But if we want to be happy,
Mm-hmm.
it takes a lot of work.
Yes, that's true. That's true. That's very true. I'm going to pause it 1 minute.
Okay.
Oh, so yes, you sent me your book, which I've been reading, and it's so cool.
Oh,
So all the 8 strategies are in this book anyway. So I will urge everyone to buy your book. So this is the book. I've read it and I can give a good, in fact, I'm giving a good review.
oh,
So,
thank you, Shola. I signed it. I signed it for you.
yes, you
And
did. You did. You signed it. You signed it. You signed it for me. Let me open it properly. Yeah,
to your happiness.
I am happy. So the
Well,
book
it's
will be
my
out
my
when is the book gonna be published? I think it's 17th of December, isn't it?
yeah, that's the release date. It's available for pre-order on Amazon now. And yeah, it just means a lot that you're such a supporter. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. So tell us where we can get this book when it's released.
Well, we can get it now on Amazon
Now, okay.
on pre-order on Amazon, and then it'll be shipped on December 17th. And it describes the 8 negative emotions and how to get out of them, because there's a way out of each of the 8 when we get stuck. And then it talks about 8 positive emotions and how to choose those every day. And we didn't get into those, but those are even more fun than the negative ones because those are the ones that feel really good.
Right, right.
But
Wow.
you'll read about those in the second half of the book. And I put a strategy in every chapter, just one little strategy. We've talked about some of them today, but one little strategy we can do to enhance our positivity every day.
Great. Thank you so much for coming on our show. And thank you for sending your book to me. I'm
Thank you for
so
having me.
honored. Thank
I
you.
love it. I love it. I love your show.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Any inspiring advice for people out there?
Yes, love yourself. That's the most inspiring advice I can give. When we accept ourselves and we love ourselves, then we can accept and love others. It's usually when we don't like ourselves that we start to be mean to other people. So be nice to yourself.
Yes, be nice to yourself. Be nice to yourself. Thank you so much for joining us today.
See you, Shola.
Thank you, everyone. And until next time, it's Matt and Shola on Mission to Inspire. Keep watching, keep listening. Like Matt said, you will be inspired and be happy. Bye, everyone. Subscribe if you haven't done so. Like, follow, comment. Until next time. Goodbye.